ever wondered why there were two miraculous feedings, one to 5,000, the other to 4? You know, when I first read that, I thought, man, why is he repeating this miracle? But he's repeating it for a particular reason, because Jesus was giving an important message behind the feeding of the 5,000, the 4,000. There are differences between these two feedings. First, the difference is who he was feeding. In the first feeding of 5,000, he did this at the Sea of Galilee, where there were Jews that were attending the meeting. So the first feeding was among the Jews, but the other feeding was among the Gentiles, for he did that at the Decapolis, which was the city, or the 10 cities for the Greeks. In other words, he was ministering to the Greeks, the non-Jews, in the second feeding. The first feeding was with 5,000, with 5 loaves and only 2 fish. Why 5? As you notice, 5 stands out. Well, 5 stands out of the first 5 books of Moses. And the Bible is divided into the law and the prophets. Thus, the 2 fish, law and the prophets. So the feeding was to try to signify the message to the Jews. The law was given to them, the law and the prophets, and he fed them with 5. And then afterwards, how many baskets full did he have? He had 12 baskets, which is the 12 tribes of Israel. So do you see, this first feeding is to underscore is to the Jewish people. But the second feeding of 4, why 4? 4,000. This is important because of the belief of the 4 corners of the earth. In other words, that the gospel was going to go to all the world, the 4 corners of the earth. And how many pieces of bread were there? 7. Why 7? Because God made the entire world and all the people in it. After 7 days he rested. So it is signifying God's word to go throughout the entire creation, all of creation, thus 7. And how many basketful did he pick up afterwards? He picked up 7. Again, underscoring the significance of God reaching all the world. So this is important. The feeding of these 2 feedings is to signify that Jesus Christ did not come for Jews only, but he came for the Gentiles. This is different than what ultra-dispensationalists teach, that Jesus' gospel was only for the Jew. But by having the feeding of the 4,000, he's signifying that this gospel message is to go to the Gentiles as well. This is very significant. Now, John's gospel, he chooses to explain the feeding in a theological way. After sharing the feeding of 5,000, he then gets into the teaching where Jesus said, I am the bread of life. I give my life, my flesh to the world. So what John is signifying by this feeding is that Jesus is the bread of life. And he's given his life for not just the Jews. He's given his life for the Gentiles as well. And that this gospel message is to go to both Jew and Gentile.